Hello and welcome to Nobley's Moment in History for November 2nd, 2022. Please like and subscribe. Nana Nana. John Brown, born May 9th, 1800, passed December 2nd, 1859, is an abolitionist. For the View. In 1805, Mr. Brown moved to Hudson, Ohio, in the Western Reserve. This area during this time period was the leading area to fight against slavery. Owen Brown, John's father, who became a wealthy person in the area, had once employed the father of Ulysses S. Grant. Mr. Owens hated slavery and was one of the main stops in the Underground Railroad. When John was 12, he seen a slave owner with one of his slaves. John asked the man, "Why'd you do that to him?" The man stopped, turned, and said, "He's a slave. It's what we do." Right then and there, John made it his life's mission to help those type of men, dedicated the rest of his life towards the freedom of all people. He believed it was the golden rule, as well what our forefathers meant when they stated the following: all men are created equal. At 16, Mr. Brown moved to New England to become a gospel minister. From 1825 through 1835, John moved to New Richmond, Pennsylvania, where he purchased 200 acres, then built a well-hidden and ventilated barn for runaway slaves during that time period. He reportedly helped 2,500 enslaved people get to Canada. President John Quincy Adams named him first postmaster of Randolph, Pennsylvania, after establishing the post office there. In 1829, Mr. Brown was fined for refusing to join the state militia to chase the Native Americans off their hunting grounds. The reason he declined was when Mr. Brown was a young boy, he became a close friend with a native boy and learned their language. Over the years, invited their tribe to hunt on his land. In 1844, the African American abolitionists had founded the Sanford Street Free Church, now known as St. John's Congregational Church. The church became one of the most prominent platforms against slavery. While a member of this church, Mr. Brown would listen to speeches from people like Frederick Douglass, as well as Sojourner Truth. The following is a quote from Frederick Douglass about John Brown. Frederick Douglass, quote, "From this night spent with John Brown in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1847, while I continue to write and speak against slavery, I become all the same less hopeful for its peaceful abolition. My utterance become more and more tingled by this man's strong impression," unquote. Virginia versus John Brown. On October 18, 1859, Mr. Brown was captured by Governor Henry A. Wise of Virginia on the Harbor Ferry. The tax against slavery was on federal property. The governor convinced the President of the United States to prosecute Mr. Brown in Virginia. Tried in Charlestown in Jefferson County, just 7 miles out of Harbor Ferry. The trial started October 27th after doctors cleared Mr. Brown fit for trial, even though suffering from clear injuries during his 3 to 4 hour interrogation. Mr. Brown was charged with the murder of 4 white men as well as 1 black male, starting a slave rebellion, as well as treason. The following is a quote from Hiram Griswold. Hiram Griswold's closing argument at Mr. Brown's trial on October 31st. Quote, "Mr. Brown could not be found guilty of treason against a state to which he owed no loyalty, of which he was not a resident. That Brown had not conspired with slaves to start a rebellion," unquote. Mr. Brown was found guilty and hung for his loyalty to what he believed in. The moral of today's story is, no matter what you believe in or who you believe in, always believe in yourself and always stand up for what you feel is right, no matter the consequences. This has been Nobley's Moment in History. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, if you don't stand, no one else will stand for yourself. God bless. Nanu Nanu. Manja Manja. EE. Please like and subscribe.